All right, YouTube. Back at it with another video journal, more of a reflection style video today. Just want to talk about building trust and having trust in yourself. Because this is something that plagued me for years. And it might be plaguing you, but I was the type of person who would talk a big game, would say they would do this, say they would do that, but would fall short a lot of the time. And when that happens, or when you don't keep your word to yourself, when you say you're going to do something and you don't do something, it damages the confidence you have within yourself, and it damages the trust you have within yourself. And for years, I struggled with this. I was in a very bad place where it was almost like I would blame the world for my circumstances and I wouldn't take responsibility. And when you don't take responsibility, when you don't feel like you're in control, then life will be happening at you and you'll be a victim to your circumstances. You'll never be able to do the things you say you're going to do, and you'll never be able to experience life at its fullest, in my opinion. And the thing is, when you get in this downward spiral of losing trust within yourself, not being in control, and just feeling like everything bad is happening and it's not your fault. The thing about this, it's a downward spiral that's very hard to overcome. And it's easy for me to say, just take responsibility. Take responsibility for your actions. Be fully accountable for the life you live. And the life you live is the life you choose, right? It's easy to say that. But thinking about my own personal journey, it took years. Literally years of just small incremental changes to where I slowly but surely built that trust up. And I think this is something more people need to do, because it's obviously basic advice to be like, hey, just take responsibility for your actions. Putting that into practice is so hard when you're facing the negative momentum, right? You're swimming upstream and everything is just pushing you down. But when you let go and you go with the flow, then you can honestly get yourself out. And why do I say this? It's because when you do the little things, little small wins, when you say, hey, I'm going to wake up at this time, and you do wake up at that time. Or, hey, I'm going to start making my bed every morning, and you do start making your bed every morning. These are such small things, but things I'm even speaking on my personal experience. I didn't used to do these things. Like, I wouldn't make my bed and I would wake up so late, and these small wins just build you up. I used to never read books, and honestly, the thought of me picking up a book and reading it front to back would be so overwhelming when you're in this negative spiral. But it's like, hey, can I read 10 pages? You can read 10 pages of a book and put it down. And guess what? That just compounds over and over and over. Even while you're on this negative spiral, those small wins will just start slowly stacking up. But it took me years. And that's the honest reality, that it takes time. But building the trust within yourself will be the most liberating experience ever. When you can feel in control of your life and you can feel in control of what's happening around you. Like, there's so many things outside of our control, yes, but to know that you're in control of you, which is so important. To have the feeling of saying, I'm going to do this thing, and you do that thing. It will set you free and set you on a path even better than you could have even imagined. And it all starts with the small things. But the thing about the small things is you need to realize that no one's going to cheer you on. No one's going to cheer you on for those small victories, and you're not even going to notice the difference from those small victories. But day by day, hour by hour, month by month, those small victories will make a change. You won't notice them. No one around you will notice them. But guess what? There is change happening. And when you can build that trust slowly but surely, you'll start to become stronger. You'll become stronger. You'll become more confident. And you'll just have more faith and belief in yourself to do things that honestly you didn't even think you could do. Because guess what? The bar is so low when you're on this downward spiral that even like a small win, like making your bed every day, it's hard to tell. It's obviously no one's going to congratulate you on making your bed every day. But guess what? You're a better version of you, because the version of you the month prior, the year prior, didn't do that thing. And guess what? Next year, you can do something a little bit better that the version of you now isn't doing. And it can be just this incremental process that to a point where in 3, 5 years, guaranteed, you are not the same person and you are, I would say, more than 100 times better than where you are in the starting position. And it's just those small, small wins. And you'll never notice it until you zoom out. So that's why I just want people to have the urgency to start getting their small wins in now. Because time in the game is more important than the timing. Get started now and watch it compound for you day by day, hour by hour, year by year. This is the single principle that really changed my life. I was a regular guy, and I remember saying things. These are like verbatim the words I'd say. It would be like, oh, I am unlucky. I would never take responsibility for my actions. I would just let life come at me, and I would just brush it off saying, hey, I didn't have any control in this. But you do. You have control of yourself and your reaction to those things, and you have control over what you think, your beliefs, your thoughts, but you just need to be able to wake up and take control back. Don't fall asleep into this endless spiral, because no one's going to save you at the end of the day. Only you can. And honestly, I'm so blessed that I got put onto this path, and I just wish this to everybody, to just take a little bit more responsibility for your life and just accept it. Accept the life you live now is because of you. Accept your fate. Love your fate. Amor fati. Once you accept it and you realize you can be the master of your own fate, the captain of your destiny, but you have to realize life is coming from you and not at you. You don't need to want to be a millionaire, a billionaire. You don't need to be the most successful person in the world. You just need to be a better version of you. Life is crazy because it's easy to accept defeat in that downward spiral of not taking accountability for your life. It's easier to do that than actually wanting better for yourself. And the life you live is the life you choose. I've said this before, but it's also, the life you live is the life you tolerate. Some people just tolerate their current circumstances. And I know like some people are in some bad circumstances, and I'm not going to generalize entire world, but I'll speak on most privileged Western people with a roof over their head and food in their belly. They speak a big game, but they generally accept the life they have and would rather keep their current suffering, which is maybe they don't like their job, or they're unfit, or they don't know how to do XYZ, or they're in a bad relationship. They accept it, because if it was unacceptable, they would do something to change. And understand that if you don't like your current circumstance, you have the power to change it, then guess what? You're in control, you're awake, and you're the master of your own destiny. It's funny to think, because if I can go back and tell my 18-year-old self about what I'm doing now, being here in Cape Town, traveling, making money online, taking care of my parents, I've seen the world and experiencing so much, he might have not even believed me. But I'm here now, and I don't want to say that I'm special. I am just a man. And if I could make this happen, you can too. And if you're seeing this, it's for a reason. It's because you want change. And I'm here to tell you that you can change if you want it. It's not easy. You have to let go of what's comfortable now. This life you're currently living is what's acceptable to you. And if you make it unacceptable, that means you're going to have to let go of it and completely change, which is very difficult, very hard. But how do you do it? Small wins, day in, day out. Takes years, and it's a grind, and you'll never know if you're going to make it. Because honestly, I had my doubts. I had so much fears, so many anxieties, so many sleepless nights. But we're here now. And I'm not going to say, oh, everything's perfect now. It never is. It's always about the journey and not the destination. But you owe it to yourself to achieve your desires. Because once you get to your desires, you'll get a wave of clarity of what you really want. So I hope you guys take this as a message to just take accountability, and you can do this. Day in, day out, one foot in front of the other, small steps. Cheers, YouTube. Bye.